What's Good podcast.
Are you ready?
Your number one source
to all the keys in the industry.
With Brianna Jovahn.
It's the What's Good podcast.
What's good?
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Jovahn, and we are here with another episode of What's Good podcast. Today, we have a Wildcard Wednesday, and I am so excited for him to join our talk today. His name is Dr. Nicholas E. Michels. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I am great. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Alrighty, so as you guys and gals know, we always start off with who is the guest. So for you, Dr. Nick, who is Dr. Nick?
That's a really good question. You know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a person, I'm a teacher, I'm a learner. I'm a lot of things. And I guess today I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be on the podcast. I'm lucky and blessed as well because I love what I do. And it's a great, unique opportunity that I get to use money, yes, but I get to go out and learn a lot of success virtues, whether it be in business, family, health, wellness, a lot of different things, and help people with money along with those things to pretty much improve their life. And so I love that. I'm a student by heart, but I'm also a teacher by heart. So that's a great question to start off. That's pretty deep.
I love that. So I do want to tap into, because before we started, we both come from a background of going to school and things of that nature. And you said that you're still learning. And so through your own experience as a student, now also using your own experience to help other people, what does that look like as far as continuing to bring resources to your community?
Yeah, absolutely. What we talked about learning is, what does Einstein say? The moment you stop growing is the moment you start dying. And I love that because there's so many different ways to learn, especially today with technology. You know, if you look at, I talk about this in my book, but I've studied success from all different angles, and success can be a lot of different things in different areas of your life. But there's some certain categories that when it comes to learning, and yes, going to school is one of them. It's a great way to learn, but it's not the only way. I mean, you can learn and get a PhD in reading books, and it'll cost you 60 cents in late fees from your library. And if you start to see all these very rich and successful people in the world, all of them read. I mean, you know, most of the CEOs in the United States, they make hundreds of millions of dollars. And on average, they read 50 books a year. That's a ton. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying I love to learn, and there's so many different ways to do it. And then I love to learn what's proven, what works, what are really smart people doing, and then show others, you know, how it can improve their life. I do. I just love that.
And with that being said, I kind of want to go into your background as a finance, right? Your book in the background, if you're watching, Rich by Choice. I do want to discuss the earlier years of your life when that mindset was a shift into, let me figure out how to get my finances together. And I think that's from a business standpoint and on a personal standpoint. Because when I was in school, I was like, oh, even though I'm getting this good refund check, I don't want it to just splurge and, and it just goes down the drain. So from a personal standpoint and as a business owner, when did you realize that finances is more than just a dollar bill? You really got to take heed of how you use that dollar.
Yeah, and I would say there's several key areas of my life. I mean, Brianna, have you ever had a moment that completely changed your life? Or moments? Have you ever had several of them? And
Absolutely.
if you're listening to this, yeah, absolutely. Most people have. In mine, the first one, I was 10 years old, middle of 4 wild boys. My dad was a business owner. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't even know what money was. I mean, I just knew that, hey, life was pretty good. I mean, we weren't super rich by any means, but we're comfortable. I mean, the only chaos I remember was, how do you get 4 boys to 12 different baseball games on one Saturday with 2 parents? Like, how does that happen? I don't know how they did it. But that good life came to an end pretty quick and abruptly. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in my room, my safe place. My mom walks in. She looks worried. She sits down on the bed next to me, puts her arm around me and says, your dad and I are getting divorced. And Brianna, it seemed like overnight, my mom went from a stay-at-home mom of 4 to a single mom of 4, working 3 jobs just to keep things going. And things weren't much better for my dad. I mean, any type of comfort, security, confidence in the future, I mean, it was all gone. And the thing was, you talked about that what does finance mean to you? You know what really it was? It wasn't the stuff that we lost. It wasn't, I mean, stuff comes and goes. That really didn't bother me. But it was the financial pain and toll that it took on my mom and my brothers and me. I mean, having to live through that. And so that completely changed my outlook on life of, okay, hey, I had this life and this comfort, this joy, this peace, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. And now there's a lot more pain and a lot more struggle. And I wanted more of this, the good stuff back, and the joy and the peace, and less of this. And so that really what started my whole journey of, okay, how do I get back there? And then the next part, you talk about me being a teacher, and it's kind of like paying it forward, because when I was 16, fast forward 6 years, I was working at a golf course. I was taking out trash, cleaning golf carts, 100-degree Texas weather, nothing sexy about it, making $3 an hour probably. But the owner brought me into his office. His name was Rex, and he was a super nice guy. And he showed me, didn't just tell me about compound interest, showed me that, hey, Nick, this is what you're making right now. I work 3 days a week on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you take this much and put it back of your check, and literally showed me compound, how it works, and the dollar amount that it could be when I got into my 30s, I was blown away. And in my mind, it was the first time that I felt empowered of, oh, so you're telling me that my future can be greater than my past. Like, I don't have to be rich to become richer. I mean, anybody can do this. And so that just started my journey of, okay, and I want to learn a little bit more. I want to learn a little bit more. And then now I want to help people because I know what works. And I want everyone to feel empowered because they can, like they say, change your stars. And anybody can do it. That's what's exciting. And so that was my journey in those moments in life that led me to the here and now.
I love that so much because my story is very similar to yours. My
Okay.
freshman year, my mom and dad actually got a divorce. And I heard it from my brother.
Wow.
And I mean, I can laugh about it now, but my mom
Mhm.
had already told me, because I'm the youngest, and she had already told me, she was like, when you leave, it's a wrap. So
Mhm.
at a very young age, I would hear things like this, but it also encouraged me to start working because you never know what the future is. So my very first job,
Absolutely.
when I was 15, 16 years old, working at Quiznos. And then a lot of my family, they're in accounting. So my cousin
Okay.
took me under her wing and was like,
Mhm.
hey, come over here. Let me teach you how to do the books and things of that nature. So those were little plants, as you mentioned, that
Mhm.
people were planting seeds in me to support me
Mhm.
when it comes to finances. As you mentioned, your boss kind of supported you, pulled you to the side and was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what you need to start learning now. How important is it to start now versus thinking, oh, I still got time to save, or I can wait till tomorrow or next
Yeah.
week? And that's not even with the younger adults. Some adults feel like, oh, I can't save right now, but just the
Mhm.
simplest things can help you save for the future.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, I don't care how old you are, what your age is, whatever it is. The most important thing is start right now. And for several reasons, not just the compound effect, more time, but think about life goes by fast. Blink your eyes twice, 4 years go by. I mean, it's already Christmas time and then the year's almost over. I feel like it was January yesterday. So that's the thing is time is going to fly. So start right now. What do they say? The old proverb, the best time to plant a tree was, yes, 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. But not only that, but here's the thing. From and this is proven psychology of happiness, is that most people be like, hey, I'll be happy when I meet Mr. and Mrs. Right forever. I'll be happy when I get to $1 million or 50 million, $100 million. I'll be happy when I step on a scale and see that magic number or whatever it is. That, it doesn't matter what it is. Everyone's always like, I'll be happy when. And they're always pushing it down the road. But no, proven research states that most people enjoy begins the very moment you take any type of small, baby, tiny, little bit of action towards that goal. Boom. All of a sudden you start to feel more joy, more peace, because you're on your way to reaching it. And so I would consider that as well, because people fear the unknown. They do. It's just human nature. But when you start to learn, like Rex teaching me one thing, it empowered me. And then guess what? I wanted to learn something else. And I wanted to learn something else. And then my life shifted in the sense that I became a business owner. And I wanted to learn more about taxes and building wealth and protecting wealth and transferring wealth. And so I wanted to learn. And then that just empowers me to go, okay, what is it, the life that I want? Wonderful. What's going to bring me joy? How can I help the most people? Then I get to use my wealth and the things I learned to get everything in line. And there's peace in that. And that's what I try to help people to do. So these are really good questions. But the goal is for anyone, doesn't matter what your age is, start today. And starting today could just be listening to your podcast and picking up one thing that you and I are talking about, Brianna, and applying it to your life. That's all. You don't have to master it all. Just one little thing and apply it today.
I think that's a really good segue too to talk about your book because at the end of the day, it's a choice, it's a decision. And I think a lot of times people get stuck because they don't make a choice. They're still
Hmm.
trying to waver out the good and the bad, the happy and the sad. And I'm
Hmm.
like, just make that one choice to go ahead and move towards that milestone. Or if that's a bigger goal, whatever the case may be, just make that
Hmm.
choice. So with that being stated, your book is called Rich by Choice. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. I'll tell you about it. But before going into finance, I was actually a basketball player. And it was so funny because I'd walk into gyms and there'd be these guys in there like 6'8", 7 foot, much taller than me. And they would come up to me like, hey, coach, what's the schedule for today? And these are, professional open trials, things like that. And they thought I was the coach because I'm not 6'8" to 7 foot. And why do I bring that up? And I used to laugh about it because I was there to actually try to play. But the thing is in basketball, if you're taller, you have a competitive advantage. If you're faster, you have a competitive advantage in many sports. The great thing about money in business is none of that matters. 99.9% of Americans today, money, business, and success is a skill, and anybody can learn it. There is no competitive advantage. It's do you want to put in the time? And so that's what my book, Rich by Choice, is yes, we all have choices that we can make. And we all have the choice to live the life that we want. And so it takes a reader on a journey. And because the first part is understanding who we are, understanding who matters to you, what matters to you, what's the exact life that's gonna give you joy. And we give you little exercises. Like one of them, people are like, well, I really don't know what's gonna make me happy. Well, we call it the happiness island. And we give you a little bit of exercises to help you go understand of, hey, okay, now I know what's going to make me happy. And you know what's great about this, Brianna, is your happiness and my happiness could look completely different. And you know what? God bless us both. Who cares what anybody else thinks? It's you and your family. It also takes you through a journey to understand your own strengths and weaknesses. I study and I've read 1,000 books, and guess what? I still have strengths and weaknesses, many weaknesses. I always have to apologize to my wife for all my mistakes. So the point is I need to understand my strengths and weaknesses and what's hurting me and what kind of strategies I can use as a safety net to protect myself and my finances from my weaknesses. And then after we understand that and we design and build the life that we want, then the next part of the book is, okay, hey, how do we use these money strategies to get things aligned to build the life that we've wanted? And it all begins with small little choices. And so that's why the book is becoming so popular, because right now in the United States, did you know this? 90% of Americans are stressed about money.
Absolutely.
90% and almost 70% are experiencing extreme stress. That's APA's research, American Psychological Association, which is one of the largest research departments in the United States. This is huge. But what I love about that research is it doesn't matter if you're quote unquote young, old, poor, middle class, rich. People are experiencing stress. My goal is to help people have more of this good life, less stress, less pain, more joy, more peace. And that's what makes this book different, because it's not just, hey, 1+1 is 2, 10% into emergency fund and all that's important. No, it's okay. How do you start building the life that you want and use money to give you that life?
So it's so crazy that you mentioned that because if you're watching this, he has monitors with, is it candlesticks? It's like the investment of
Oh yeah,
where you
yeah.
go
Just different charts back there. There's a lot of different
yes,
stuff.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I recently took a class because I'm trying to learn how to do stocks and bonds and et
Mm-hmm.
cetera, et cetera. And the first thing that they taught us, like you mentioned, is really getting your mindset together. Because we could talk about the
Oh yeah.
investment part all day. We could talk about the finances. We could talk
Mm-hmm.
about all those things. But if your mindset is not right, like with procrastination, like you mentioned, with the joy, when it comes to those type of things, if you don't have your mindset ready for those things, when you go into investment, you're not going to have the patience. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
have these other things in place. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. And so for you to say that's like the first thing within your book, was that strategic or was that through your own experience that you do have to have your mindset ready before you even get into the investment parts or even investing in your own self?
Yeah, that is, and actually both. Investing in your own self, because we talk about earnings power and we talk about investing, and no one really talks about that. They talk about all these other things when it comes to money, but they don't talk about earnings power. People want to have and they want to do, but first you have to become. If you focus on who you become smarter, become more loving and compassionate, become more excited about who you help and how much you help them, I promise you all this other stuff will take off through the roof. Like it'll rain money on you. And so that is it. And so, yes, in the book, it starts with mindset. In your brain, it's like a supercomputer because it's called cognitive behavior therapy. That's the book quote. I mean, and that's one of them. There's a lot of them now, but that's one of them. And it is. What starts in the mind then goes to feelings within the body. And then the outer world becomes a reflection of both of those two things. And so, and we give, again, little simple exercises because to me, it drives me crazy when I'm reading this book or I'm reading a book and it has all these great, things of, yeah, this is the life that you want. You want to be a billionaire. And then it doesn't tell you how to do it. It drives me crazy. It's like a philosophy book and an outlook on life, but it doesn't give me the step by steps. So on every little thing where it's really important that we put in the book, Rich by Choice, of, hey, now do this little exercise. That's going to help you. I'm going to tell you exactly step 1, step 2, step 3 on how to improve your mental growth mindset. And so you're right. Look at all the great, very successful people. Henry Ford, if you believe you can or you can't, so it will be. I mean, even Dr. Seuss talks about that. The imagination is the view of tomorrow's world or whatever it might be. So it's incredible. You're so right that you have to start with your mind. If you tell yourself over and over again, and if you're going through a tough time right now, I'm really sorry. But if you're waking up and telling yourself that you deserve to be poor or you deserve the bad things happen to you, first of all, like I said, my heart is with you because I've been through tough times and I've kind of been there. I felt what you're feeling. But you have the power every day, and it won't be easy at first, but, and I give you little affirmations that you can start telling yourself, and you start, doing it more and more. And all of a sudden you're feeling in your body, you're going to have more zest for life and more energy to pursue the things that you want. And so, Brianna, I can't tell you how powerful it is that the affirmations, what you tell yourself and what you believe, it's going to come true, whether really, really good, really, really big, or really, really bad. I mean, your mind doesn't know what is good, what is bad. It just knows what you tell it.
What is an affirmation you can share with everybody that's listening or watching right now to help them in that mindset shift?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a couple different things. I'll just tell you what I personally do every morning. When I get to the office, I read my Bible, I journal, some things that I did yesterday, and then I meditate and say affirmations. And what I do is I think of different key areas of my life. My marriage, my business, people that we're helping, my relationship with my kids, my faith, my personal wellness. And so in each one of those, I will say certain things, and it can be, and I change them up just to make sure it doesn't get stagnant. But I could say certain things like, I am a patient father. I'm a loving husband. I'm so grateful for my family. So it can be that simple. Where, hey, we have, and I do tell myself this because I truly believe it, we have the greatest wealth management process in the world. That we are great at helping people use money to better their lives. So I continue to say these little things. And not only when I say them, and this is the second part, that I'll see it in my mind. And I'll feel it. I will feel it because when I sit down with someone, we do what's called a discovery meeting, and we don't even talk about money and dollars and cents. We talk about them and their family and their lives and who they love and what they're doing this all for and the life that they want. Do you know how excited I get after that, to where we're really starting to build and help people to turn the chapter in their life to start creating better life for themselves and not themselves, some loved ones. I get a joy from that. And so when I'm doing my meditations and I'm picturing these things, I'm feeling that feeling because there's power on top of that. And so all this, and by the way, if you've never done this before, you're probably thinking, man, this Nick guy, he's crazy. But the thing is, all this is proven research that it helps. And it takes 5 minutes. That's it. It doesn't take a long time.
I love that. I do want to talk about, because for me, I am a spiritual person,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to talk about how important it is to write it down. Because like you mentioned, you journal it. And once you journal it, you start imagining it. And then from there, it's like you see yourself in that position versus having, hearsay thoughts here and there, but it's consistent. Like, no, I know that's where I'm going to be. I know this is the person I want to become. Because at the end of the day, God does not want us to be here unhappy, but we have to see it for ourselves. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, it's so powerful. I know, Brian, you're from Dallas, Texas, and everyone loves the Cowboys in Dallas, Texas. And Emmett Smith was a 3-time Super Bowl winning running back, all-time greatest running back in NFL history, has the most yards. When he got to the league, he wrote down a few goals when he was a rookie and he put it in his locker for him to see it. Now, I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but one was I think it was like rookie of the year. And the number two was MVP or win a Super Bowl, and then lead the league in rushing all the time. And he wrote these down, and he saw it every day. And guess what? Emmett Smith, I'll be the first one to tell you, in my opinion, he's not the fastest running back ever to play. He's not the biggest running back ever to play. Now, he was really, really good, but he'll even tell you that him writing down his goals, what he wanted to accomplish, and seeing it every day was one of the main reasons why he had so much success. And it's not just Emmett Smith in the sports world, it's people in the business world. Why do you think big time CEOs, entrepreneurs, they do these getaway retreats where they'll go away for a whole week and sometimes longer than that? Well, they'll get into Zen and just really picture what do they want to accomplish, not in the next year, but the next 3 years, 5 years. And then how are they going to do it? Because it's so important to take the time to, yes, have a plan, but write it down. What was it? There's some stat out there that talked about people who not only have a goal, but then they write the goal down. There's a 70% higher chance that they were going to achieve that goal than the person who just said their goal out loud.
It's a difference.
It's fascinating. It is. And this is the perfect time to do it, right as we're getting started into the new year. But even if you're watching this show and it's in the middle of the year, it's a rerun, whatever, stop and do it. Because most people don't take the time. And again, I get it. Today's fast. We're thinking about today. We're thinking about yesterday. Not many people take the time to sit down and think about tomorrow. Think about 5 years down the road. And I get it. I got 4 kids. I'm busy. I understand. I'm not judging anybody. So I have to make a cognizant effort to do it as well. But it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I do want to take a pivot and discuss wealth management. And what does that mean to you? And especially when you bring it up to your clients, because you mentioned earlier that you do have your consultations. Mm-hmm. And so for people who are just now getting into investments, just now getting into finances, after they realize this is a goal of mine, I want to do these things, right? Mm-hmm. Now that we've talked about the mindset, we talked about goals. Now we're here, we're talking to you and actually putting things in perspective. How do you discuss wealth management with them?
Absolutely. So it'd be two key areas. There's the corporate jargon strategies that we use, and then there's the positive effect on people's lives, and they're both equally important. But the corporate side, the structure side of what we do, we help people in 6 key areas of their life. It really is. Number one is investment consulting, and actually this is in order. Yale did a study of what's most important to wealthy families in America. The number 1, number 2, number 3, and all the top 6 of saying, hey, if we can check mark these boxes, boom, we're taken care of. We sleep good at night. And the first one's investment consulting. People want to help make smart decisions with their money. And it could be investing, stocks, bonds, real estate, shorts, puts, longs. So there's a lot of different things that can fall into. The next one is increasing cash flow. I mean, that is it. You want to buy assets that give you increased cash flow to where, hey, the goal is how do we not go to work anymore and still cash checks and then start cashing bigger checks. So that's what we specialize in, as increasing cash flow. The third one's so important, and nobody's doing this and no one's talking about this, is tax mitigation, being proactive with tax strategies. The United States Constitution is very clear. It is our job to pay our fair share, no more, no less. Now, I'm not talking about breaking rules and tax evasion where you go to jail. No, I'm talking about how to use the tax code and tax laws to benefit your tax situation. And a lot of people file their taxes, but they're not saying, okay, hey, this year, how do we, save money on taxes? What are all the strategies that could apply to us? And then let's also look at taxes over the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. We have people, I have a client retired, and we've been very slowly shifting money, because it's called asset location. A lot of people know what asset allocation is, which means diversification. Asset location. No one talks about that. So we've been shifting money from taxable money to tax-free money. And we're doing it over a 15-year period where there'll be millions of dollars there. And they're going to pay a little bit in taxes to get it there, but it's little chunks at a time. No one's talking about this. And there's so many more strategies as well. The next one is wealth transfer. Is, hey, how do we take care of our loved ones? Because what is all this for, Brianna? If I'm not building this to enhance my family, enhance the people I love and all the people around me, what is it for? And so that's really important. It's called an effective and efficient transfer. How do we get the money and our assets to the people we love the fastest and the least cost possible? And there's so many different things that involve that. Next one is asset protection. Huge. Asset protection is not just the boring protect your asset, but it's also how do you protect your way of life? from being unjustly taken. And so most of our clients, all of them, they can check mark those 5 key areas. And once you check mark those, the next thing, and I just think it's our job to pay it forward, is charitable giving. How do we make a larger impact on the world? And there's so many strategies. Like I had these clients come in and they didn't have any kids and they weren't super excited about, passing money on. And they're really wealthy. And I could get that. They're like, hey, we're going to give it to our nieces and nephews, and they weren't excited. But I was able to show them strategies, and it wasn't a lot of money to do this. They had these 7 key organizations that they love to give to every year, and they enjoy that. We set up a foundation where they were going to be able to fund those 7 organizations for the next 100 years after they die. How incredible is that? And guess what? Their last name is not Gates, like Bill Gates' family, or like the Vanderbilts. Like these aren't these super well. They're just what I'm doing is I take the strategies that these really wealthy families are using and just give it to ordinary people, everyday people like me and you, because how exciting is that going to bed at night that, hey, I get to take care of my family, but also I'm going to have a lasting positive impact on this world for the next 100 years, maybe longer. So that is what we do in the 6 key areas that we specialize in. We go really deep. Now, what I love is how do we get those aligned with, again, just like the book, what's important to you? Who's important to you? What's the life? Like if I call it the rocking chair test. If you're 110 years old and you're looking back over your life, for you to go, man, this was a great ride. I did it. I did everything. I lived it. I've got relationships. What specifically has to happen to be able to do that? And then we use these 6 key areas to align those things. Did I tell you enough there? I talk a lot. I'm really sorry.
No, that
I get
was
excited.
good. I am right here with you. That's good. That was good.
Okay.
Okay, so as you mentioned, as far as like the everyday person, I do want to bring it back a little bit to say,
Sure.
and we sprinkled this a little earlier, what is one step out of those 6 pillars that you mentioned where a small step that they can get started today? I know we talked about journaling, we talked about writing it down, we talked about joy within ourselves, within our family. What is one action for them to just get started? Just something little like you mentioned, the everyday person.
Yeah, absolutely. The everyday person. So I had this lady come into my office one time. Her name was Cindy, and she was this down home country girl from Texas. I mean, she's one of those people that if she was on her mind, she was going to tell you about it, whether you liked it or not. And so she comes into my office, and the first thing I remember is, hey, she was sat down with me because a friend told her to come sit with me. She really didn't want to be there. And she goes, I don't have any much money, Nick. I don't even have money every month, and only rich people invest, and I'm not rich. And so, she laid into me, and she was wonderful. I love her. We're good friends to this day. But I said, okay, I get it. But before you go, since you drove all the way down here, will you do one exercise with me? And so I got a pen and a piece of paper, and I started asking her about her day. And we were writing down all the different things that she did. And, whether it be getting coffee in the morning at Starbucks, driving to work and getting a Dr. Pepper and a bagel before work started, coming down for I think it was, she didn't vape at the time, it was a smoke break, and then going back up and going out to lunch and happy hours after she was meeting with me. So I just listed all the things she's doing. Like essentially, where's your money going day in, day out? And I said, okay, you told me you're not rich. You told me that you can't afford this. Let me ask you something. And we looked at her budget and we went line by line, and not for me to tell her what to spend her money on, that she's a big girl. Like she's the boss, like she can do whatever she wants. Right. But I said, let me ask you something. If you had to find just one of these things that you're spending money on every day, and either A, it's not really making you that much happier, or B, most people, do you know how many subscriptions people have right now they don't even know they're spending money on? So what we did was we found one thing, and I showed her that $7 a day, $7 a day, that's it. That's one Starbucks coffee. That is it. You could be a millionaire, multimillionaire down the road. And you reavert that $7 to what Dave Ramsey calls a growth mutual fund, an S&P 500 index fund. These are just things that Dave Ramsey talks about. But the point is, you find a good investment, and you do that. And so what at the common person, they most think, well, why would I get started? $7 is nothing. When I show people that just a little bit of money every day can be millions down the road, just like Brianna, if I asked you, like everybody has a couple of bad habits. Well, it could be anything. I'm not going to judge people, but it could be anything. But if I offered you and said, hey, would you quit that bad habit for $1 million? What do you think most people would say?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you. Yeah, absolutely. And every bad habit has a cost. So stop that bad habit today, reavert that money into a certain asset, an investment, and let it go for the next 20 years. Boom, you're going to be a millionaire. It's not hard. And so that's the first action. And I teach people how to do this step by step. And it's just looking, where's your money going? You're going to spend 90,000 hours of your life working. Understand where that money's going. And the question is not good or bad. I love to take my family out to eat. I love to travel. I love doing all these things. They cost money. I have no problem with that. But what I am very thoughtful and mindful of is, hey, where's my dollars going? And is each one really moving the needle in my life in the direction that I want to? I was shocked when I did this myself many, many years ago of going, okay, yeah, that makes me happy. That makes me happy. I didn't even know I was spending money on that, and that definitely doesn't make me happy. Make these little tiny adjustments, and boom, the Nick down the road is ecstatic doing cartwheels down the highway because I'm so happy I'm a millionaire because I made these small little changes. It's not hard.
You just got to make the decision. You got to make the choice.
The choice to take the time to do it, and then and to do it, and it's funny. It's not even funny. It's powerful. What's so powerful about this is once you do one thing, like Cindy, she did one thing and she got excited, but all of a sudden she was so excited. Guess what? One thing turned into two things. And then all of a sudden she started getting a momentum. She started seeing that account and those investments growing. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, I like this. Now let's do these other things too. I don't need those. I'm more excited about this over here in the life that I'm building. I don't need these couple of, and so momentum. But it all started with one choice, one action. And anybody can do that.
And so I know before we started today, you mentioned that you do have an offer for our listeners. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor so we can talk about it.
So what I want to do is right now, if you're listening, if you go to www.richbychoicebook.com, richbychoicebook.com, right there it'll say free gift. On the home screen, green box, free gift. Once you click on that free gift, click on Compounding by Choice. It is a free chapter of the book. It's one of my most enjoyable chapters. It changed my life in a wonderful way. And we're seeing thousands upon thousands of success stories from all around the world just from this one chapter. People love it. And when most people think, Brianna, about compounding, they think about what? Compounding interest, money, right? That is very powerful. What people don't stop to think about is right now, every area of your life, every single area is compounding, whether it be compounding for positive or compounding for negative. Business, money, marriage, family, relationships, personal health, growth, intellect. It is. Or it's compounding for the negative. And we give you a simple exercise to understand the key areas in your life. What's going to move that needle? Who's important to you? What's important to you? And then we give you just like that $7 a day, small little steps that you can start taking on daily for all those key areas that'll start getting you to the life that you want. It really, this changed my life. And when I started doing it, and it makes me cognizant of, hey, where do I want to be? Why am I not getting there? Oh, this is what I need to do. And what I love about it, what most people are talking about is, this is not like completely changing your life. Like you don't have to just stop eating for 4 days to lose weight. You don't have to do those things. Like you don't have to hurt yourself. You don't have to take extreme measures. Now, if you do not hurt yourself, but take extreme measures, yeah, you can get there, but you don't have to. It's small, little daily actions that start getting you and being mindful of, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. This is what's going to get me there. And so it's my free gift. Take it. It'll come in a PDF to you. Man, I hope it helps you as much as it's helping everyone else around the world.
Beautiful. All righty. Well, Dr. Nick, this is a wrap. Did you have anything that you feel like I left or you want to leave with the people today?
No, I just want to tell you thank you. I think what you're doing here is wonderful. All this information, that I didn't come up with any of it. It's things that I've seen, things that I've learned, things that I've experienced myself. And if you're listening right now, I wish you nothing but the best. I mean, God bless, and I hope this helps you. And I hope you get to have the amazing life that you've always wanted. And so thank you for having me on the show.
Well, we are blessed for your experience and you sharing it with us today. So we are so thankful. With that, we're going to make sure all of the links and everything will be in the show notes so you guys can support, follow up, do all the things with Dr. Nick. But other than that, thank you again for your time today. If you guys are listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you for supporting What's Good Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us for another episode of What's Good Podcast with your girl, Brianna Jovahn. If you found today's discussion inspiring, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your preferred podcast platform. Explore additional resources on our website at whatsgood-productions.com and find our social media links listed in the show notes. Stay tuned for more captivating stories ahead. Until next time, stay blessed and keep uplifting your community.